Yes, sir.
Craig, a difficult series to swallow. There's some great bowling today and a couple of performances during the other two matches. What's your assessment in general?
Yeah, look, I think it obviously has been a disappointing series. I think generally Zimbabwe miss winning those key moments. You know, there was key moments throughout a lot of the games. You know, when we had Afghan on the back foot and we were in the driving seat. And I just felt that those are the little moments that we need to take a hold of the game, you know, and control it for a lot longer. I just think, you know, it was with bat and ball. You know, guys did well with the ball, and then a couple of sessions at the back end with the death, you know, we gave away far too many runs. You know, and with the bat, we've done so well to get into decent positions, and then we lose a lot of wickets, and we basically just hand the game back to the opposition.
Thank you, sir.
There are no easy games really in international cricket, but looking at where you were in Zimbabwe, that total, probably, obviously, you picked yourselves to chase it down. What really went wrong today? Because everybody was anticipating at least a first seven victory today.
Yeah, look, I thought even if they'd gotten 150, I thought, you know, it was still going to be chaseable. You know, and the bowlers did extremely well to pick up wickets in the middle today to restrict them. They couldn't finish off their innings like they did in the first two T20s. And I just thought, you know, their left arm spinner Nur Ahmed, you know, basically just took the game away from us. You know, it's tough enough having to play Rashid in the middle overs, and now there's another guy that we have to deal with. But that's not making up any excuses. You know, I thought it was just the soft dismissals that we didn't necessarily need, which put us behind. And when you're facing a tough bowling attack, you can't afford, you know, things like runouts. You know, unfortunately, if Raza running past one down the leg side, myself, RBW. You know, you try and make sure that the wickets that they get, especially in a low-scoring game like that, are ones that they've really worked hard for.
Okay, yes.
You did not perform well with the bat as well. Can you give us an assessment of your performance in this series?
Oh, look, I'll be the first one to put my hand up to say I was poor in this series with the bat, and I know that there's a few technical issues that I really need to work on. So, you know, over the next few weeks, I'll be sitting down with the batting coach and making sure that when it comes to the qualifiers, I'm in much better form than I have been over the last 2 weeks.
Where do we go from here, Zimbabwe?
Well, first step is making sure that we qualify in a few weeks' time. I think that has to be our priority now. I don't think we should look too far ahead. I think we've got to concentrate on what we need to do in order to help us qualify. If we qualify, you know, then there's Bangladesh that's coming. And we have a good bunch of youngsters, you know, coming up. And that's going to be hugely important for us, you know, going forward, that they're the ones that come through. But as I said, we can't look too far ahead. We just need to work on where we are presently, and making sure that every game we play, we are doing those little 1%ers, those non-negotiables, the controllables, all of those things. We need to make sure that we are ticking all of those boxes, and then we can move up from there.
Are there some awful distractions that the team has been going through that probably we don't know? Just looking at today's performance, and also, I mean, how everything has gone. Because we have to look at this Afghanistan versus South Africa A, where Zimbabwe managed to beat South Africa A, which was quite a formidable side. And then you look at this, so it means now we've lost. 6-0 against Afghanistan, 6-0 against Bangladesh and 1.
I don't think there's off-field issues. I think it's more just within the change room and possibly just the plans, and to make sure that you as the individual are clear on your role in the team. So when you walk out to bat, this is exactly what my role is today, and this is where I need to the position I need to put the team in. And if guys are clearer on that, then at least it simplifies. My role is to hold the innings together. Raz's role is to obviously score quickly and finish the innings. So we don't want to be doing each other's roles. Make sure you have your individual role, and you need to take care of that.
Craig, how has the team received the news of changes in the coaching department?
Look, I think it's obviously still very fresh news for the team, because we're obviously playing today, and the news release has just come out. But Dave Houghton coming in, is an important part of Zim cricket. He's been around Zim cricket. He's an important figure, and I think he's very well respected. So I don't see why there will be any issues there.
Bina, just is a twofold question. You have seen, you talked about the young players and a good crop of young players, and quite rightly, and I think fans, from seeing them, they say that the players are better than the results that are there. What do you think that Dave Houghton, what do you think that is, having worked with him before, that Dave Houghton will bring in that will bring the best out of his youngsters?
Look, I think, I've worked with Dave when I played at Tuskers.
Sorry, just a moment. Just one moment. Otherwise I won't be able to get this out. Okay.
I worked with him at Tuskers a few years back, and I think just the reputation that he holds, I think just that in essence will get the best out of the youngsters. I think his way of coaching and the clarity that he brings, I think that'll be good for the young guys to look up to.
Any message to the fans who have continued to support you throughout this
it's always nice to have guys come and support, and it's hard because we want to give them something to cheer about, and it's not always easy for them because they also don't fully understand what's going on. They can just see what's happening in the middle. But we're very thankful for the guys that continuously come out and support us. And hopefully we can now going into the future we can give them something to cheer about, and try and get more guys down to come and watch. And that's only going to happen by us winning.
Sorry about the noise, guys. Yeah. We still have more questions, or we're happy?
But I just
one more. Okay, one last one.
I think on more, how grateful have you been for the amount of matches that you've been able to play? I know the results haven't always been there, but I think one of the things that players have always complained about is that there's not enough matches, and you've got a full calendar this year.
Now look, I think it's excellent. The only way you are going to improve is by playing more and more games. And when you come up against good opposition, they're the ones that exploit your weaknesses. It's hard to get those same conditions in the nets. So we're very grateful for the games. It can be when you're out of form like I am. The games are coming thick and fast. You haven't got time to work on all your little issues. But if you are in good form, you want the games coming thick and fast because you just carry on from where you left off. So I definitely think it's something that we need to try and continue.